Now let's move overseas, if I may, ask Alejandro Chaufen from Acton Institute. Alejandro represents, as I've just mentioned, this very distinguished think tank. He knows very well the situation overseas concerning the economic situation and the situation of smaller and even family businesses. So, Alejandro, do you share my original statement that the world will never be as it was before the pandemic? Whether the changes we are experiencing now will last? And whether it would be worth bringing the old world order in economic terms back, or we just have to go for something completely new.
Thank you, and Your Excellency and President Kast and everyone who made this possible. First of all, congratulations for not ceding the word freedom to the enemy. You know, the title of the summit, you know, freedom at stake, building and strengthening a pro-freedom agenda globally. I usually describe my life. I started as falling in love with freedom as a nasty libertarian. Then I fell in love with God. But then I realized that they were the same thing. And so my love for freedom has only grown. And your decalogue of principles is absolutely superb. Now, you say, will the world be the same? Heraclitus, this famous Greek philosopher, you know, says we will never be able to step in the same river again. Everything is changed. Yes, but the Danube continues to flow and follow, you know, the laws of nature. And also the laws of economics also follow natural law, and they apply no matter what your ideology is. You know, so if you overtax, you overspend, you overregulate, you overprint money, you are going to create problems. Before Putin's invasion of Ukraine, gas prices in the United States were up 70%. Inflation had more than doubled. And it's all the result of economic laws. Many of the problems, you know, are self-inflicted. And again, this is an international conference. Each country is different. On energy, the United States, for the first time before this current president, was able to become an export country in energy, in oil. Before, we were an importing country. The price of gasoline was one of the lowest ever. The level of unemployment was very, very low. And it's all based on one of the key foundations of the free society. Freedom is based in the free society on two institutions: the family, the first one, and second, the private property. Private property was born to protect the intergenerational family. The United States is one of the only countries in the world where the underground belongs to the private property owner. Most of the world, Latin America, Africa included, they are beggars like sitting in mountains of gold with enormous energy resources, but you cannot produce them because 80% of the world energy market is in the hand of authoritarian dictators. So this is a self-inflicted wound. So we can solve it. Food production, for sure, we're going to have a big blow with what's happening in Ukraine. But my native country, that was the breadbasket of the world, in other words, the government does the opposite of what they should do. They're increasing export taxes. So people, instead of increasing their food production, they are lowering it. You know, so this is Argentina, and I imagine that in any other countries of the world will happen the same. Sense of insecurity. Sorry, when you have a big bully next door, that will be very hard to solve in the near future. Imagine the impact on families, hundreds of thousands, millions of families destroyed and separated by this war. The previous president called to shame European governments for not spending what they should to defend their countries. He's the only one who really put pressure. Now, what will happen in the future to spend more money? Or you have to shift spending, or you have to increase taxes. Taxes today in the OECD, Europe included, are at the highest level historically they have ever been. So that has a cost on family businesses. How much this insecurity will grow, I think all will depend how much we punish Russia after defeating its goal to conquer Ukraine. The key impact, just to finish, we have to measure it in what happens in the three major blocs of the world: China, the European Union, and the United States, and how this new economy affects, and you have basically described part of the Benedictine option, or third part of being able to leave some of this cosmopolitan cultures is becoming easier for many people working in the United States. For small businesses and small NGOs like us, it's difficult to retain staff if we are in cheap cities, because people in big cities are hiring our staff and letting them stay in their nice houses in a rural setting. So again, many challenges ahead. What happens in the future, I think, will depend on what we do from here onwards. So thank you.
Yes.